Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. Gerry's here, Terry's here, Max is here, and we need to play a little amazing Kreskin here to try to figure out who's Marco going to start against Brighton. I got to be honest, if any of us is right on this one, I'll just be shocked because you got to take injuries into consideration because it's hard to know exactly how injured certain players are. Recently, Gay was, didn't start, and then before that, he wasn't even in the squad. Lookman hasn't been in the squad, and of course, everybody's like freaking out, like, oh no, they're both going to be off. You know what I mean? There's all these weird little things that happen in the build-up. All right. However, I think all we can do is just assume Gay really was injured and he's back, and Lookman really is injured, and that's really the best we can do at the moment. So I guess it's Terry's turn to start first. The big conversation, Max alluded to it before. I'm not going to pretend like this was my first talking point because Max said it first. Is it going to be three at the back? Terry, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, it probably will be. And I mean, I don't like it. I've said before, I don't like three at the back for Everton. I don't think long term it'll work, but you can't argue 5-1. I don't think he'll change that. I think some of the personnel will change, not as many as people think, but I think we'll probably roll with something like Pickford in goal, but same back three, Mina, Keane and Zuma. Interestingly, I brought up off camera that back three was the same personnel as what played against City, but they were set up differently. Against Man City, it was Gerry Mina at left centre-back, Zuma in the middle and Keane on the right. But against Burnley, it was Gerry Mina as the right centre-back, Michael Keane as the central player, and Zuma at left. And it doesn't seem like it make a big difference, but it clearly did. As you could see, they seemed a lot more comfortable with that setup. So maybe that was part of the problem at Man City, but we'll see. Coleman at right wing back, Luca Dean at left wing back. This is where I'll probably see one of the changes. I think of Sigurdsson and Gomez, one of them will drop out for Idrissa Gueye. Might not work because three centre backs and Gay as well might be a little bit too much. Might slow the game down as he comes to collect it. But I do think that's what we'll do. I think it would work better if Sigurdsson dropped out for Gay and we play Gomez and Sigurdsson as the middle two, but that's probably a little bit intensive on Gomez. He did pick up a knock, didn't he, against Tottenham, but I can't see it being Sigurdsson and Gay as a central pair, and I don't think that just don't see that working. And then the front three, probably the same, Bernard, Walcott and Calvert-Lewin. One of the other options would probably be play Richarlison through the middle, but considering how well the team that started played against Burnley and how good they were in the first half hour, if there's any, I would probably stump for one change to start with, which would be Idrissa Gueye, and then we'll probably see more changes in the following games.
Mine is very different. There's a spoiler. Max.
To play devil's advocate, I've gone very different too. It's not necessarily what I think Marco will do. It's just something I want to see. I want to see us go back to the back four, because of that brings changes to the roles of the central midfielders. Because, I mean, I'm sure we'll touch on it later. I'll just get me line up out the way. Pickford in goal, Dean at left back, Mina and Keane as the centre back partnership, Seamus Coleman right back, Idrissa Gueye if fit, Andre Gomez, Gylfi Sigurdsson in front of them, Bernard, Calvert-Lewin and Walcott, Richarlison on the bench, which I think would be the right call to make. In terms of what difference the back five makes to different players, I think obviously it brings a huge difference to the wing back style of play. I think Dean and Coleman were getting on the ball a hell of a lot more than what they would usually if it was a four back, and they were picking the ball up in a lot more advanced positions, which is optimal. I think we play at our best when we are given the freedom to the wing backs as such. But something that I do think it stifles creativity through the middle.
Yeah.
You see Sigurdsson and Gomez picking up the ball, I'd say just too deep to make use of the passing range, thread the through balls. So, and we know how decisive they can be when they are further up the pitch. And as Terry said, I think it's all it's entirely dependent on how Marco Silva views the health of Idrissa Gueye. I don't think this is a game where we'd rest him for the sake of rest him, because I do feel like if he is fit, I think he's on the pitch. I can't, as I say, I can't see a 5-back in Idrissa Gueye. I personally believe the 5-back/3-back is to compensate for Gueye's absence. But yeah, what should we pick apart? Because I feel like if we revert back to that 4-3-3 that brought us so much success earlier in the season, I don't think that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I've got mine is very similar to yours, Max. I've got going 4 at the back. The first time I wrote this down, I put 5 at the back, or the 3 at the back and the wing backs. You know what I mean? The first time I wrote that down, I had Keane, Mina, and Zuma, all 3 of them. Now I've got Zuma dropping. However, I keep wondering when Keane is gonna get some rest. You know what I mean? Like we haven't seen a lot of Mina Zuma as a partnership. And at some point, Keane may need that. I don't know if Brighton away is a good opportunity for that. However, I know Mina just did play on the right side of the back 3, and Zuma played on the left just recently. So it's something to consider. But no, I don't. I've got Zuma dropping just like you do, Max. Luka Dean, Idrissa Gueye, Andre Gomez, Sigurdsson. I've got Richarlison coming in for Bernard just because Bernard worked so damned hard previous game. I feel like he may be a little spent. He's still getting used to our league. You know what I mean? Still getting used to Premier League. So I don't know. Players I think could use a rest at some point. Sigurdsson, Gomez, Keane, Coleman at some point, right? But how's that going to work? We don't know. There's no idea. But so yeah, and I've got Richarlison, Walcott, DCL up front. I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. I mean, it's just such a weird conversation. I think a lot of it's just a Gueye. Is he healthy? Is he fit?
Because I don't think the game plan's going to change. I don't think, I think we'd expect to have more possession and to be, firmly in control. Not necessarily firmly in control of the game, but you know what I mean. I'd expect us to be the more dominant side, as we've said.
Yeah, because we already kind of lack creativity through the middle, like already. You know what I mean? Like almost always going out to the wings. Coleman crossing it usually to the first man, usually to the opposition. Luka Dean doing some bizarre looping, curving cross that goes in between like 3 different players and weaves perfectly onto someone else's head. It happens. Or Bernard, actually. Bernard got an assist from the side this past game. That's when we put into that back formation, that 3 at the back formation, we already lack creativity in the middle, then that's already going to be there. But does it matter as long as we're scoring goals? Terry, you've got us running 5 at the back. Do you think we're still going to be okay? And then Marco's not really going to care if we're creative through the middle. You know what I mean?
I think considering Walcott and Bernard played so well against Burnley, I mean the 3-5 or whatever it is, 3 or 5 players at the back. Obviously the as you say, the middle's restricted quite a lot, so you're relying a lot on the wide players. But since they played so well, I think he'll be fine with that. It's not, as I've said, it's not what I would do. It's not what I want him to do, but I think it is what he will do. Because I'm not a fan of 5 at the back anyway, but I can't see him changing the shape of the team after such a commanding performance in the last game. I think Bernard and Walcott will get another go and see if they can build on that performance.
Right on. Any other thoughts on this, guys?
No.
All right. We've actually exhausted a lot of conversation on this one. It's pretty. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways to go on this one, though. It's not. I remember earlier in the season, it was like Terry would say his lineup, then Max and me. It was like pretty much all the same thing. There you go. And everybody else is probably saying, viewers and listeners saying the same stuff. So it's just different during the festive season. All right, so I guess that's it for our starting 11 versus Brighton segment. We'll probably all be wrong, but at least we have reasons to back up what we're saying. So this is our final video segment. If you want to switch on over to the podcast, we've got If You Know Your History, quiz segment, Max, Terry going head to head. It looks like this. Check it out. It's trivia, Everton trivia, and maybe, I don't know, maybe you know some of those, some of these questions. So check out the pod if you want that. If not, we'll miss you, sadness. But anyway, if you've been digging our videos, please subscribe to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel. We'd sincerely appreciate it. If you want more, just buckets and buckets of Terry, check out his Twitter, because you'll find it. He'll tell you when he's on the Liverpool Echo fan jury next time. And additionally, Max will make sure you stay informed of where Max will be. He shows up on the Toffee Blues website often, so look there. He does analysis there, usually more than one piece per week. And that's it, guys. Let's go do a quiz and test your Everton brains. Gentlemen, thank you, and bye.